everybody, happy Thursday. And when it's Thursday, what do we do here? We do FAQ videos or we do media, and I've been really lazy and I haven't been reading the media. I apologize. Sometimes the news is just depressing. Am I right? Okay, so let's get going because my mom is here. Say hi, Mom. She's in the back. And Larry, they've come to visit. It's my mom's birthday, so, you know, we're treating her right. Don't you worry. Okay, first question. Let's get cracking. Says, hey, Katie, I'm wondering, have you ever made any videos on making decisions? How do you break it down and not overthink? Now, this is going to be tricky, and I don't know if I actually talked about this, hence why I put it in this, but if I have another FAQ, hey, let me know and put it in the comments, because I couldn't find it, and I didn't think I've talked about it. So the best way to make decisions, I find, is to, number one, talk it out with someone, preferably a professional. If you have a therapist, they're going to give you the most unbiased representation of the scenario and tell you kind of what's best to do. But secondly, and I do this the most, is I talk to my mom, hey, or I call some of my good friends. And I just kind of bounce ideas off of them on when I'm making decisions. And the last and the most important is taking time to kind of journal it out. I know a lot of people do pros and cons lists, but things can be weighted so much more. Like you can have 5 million pros and 2 cons, but the 2 cons are like terrible. And so you're not going to do it anyways, no matter all the pros you have. So I don't feel like pros and cons really helps as much as writing it out and then putting it away, and coming back to it a day or two later and reading it again and deciding from there. Now, that's how I make decisions, and that helps me to see it clearly, because setting it aside and not ruminating on it over and over gives it time to kind of, you know, steep in your mind, and then when you return to it, you're like, oh, yeah, that was shitty, I don't want to do that, or, oh, it's so clear now. And so that's how I do it. But how do you not overthink is when you make the decision, you just make the decision. It's done. You can't go back. You can't change it. You can't like unbreak up with someone or untake that job. And I mean, I guess you could just quit, but like, you know, I'm just saying that if you take the proper time, you think it out, you write it out, and you decide, then that's it. And I think if you give yourself enough time to make sure it's the right decision, you won't be overthinking it, wondering 12,000 ways. And if you are, then I think you should probably talk to your therapist about that as well, because that's part of anxiety, ruminating thoughts and not being able to slow it down. So you might want to bring that up as well. And if any of you have experience with this and certain things that you use, let us know, because those are just things that I do and things that have helped other people I know, but you have all your own experiences too. Okay, now the second question, this is a long question, so I'm going to take a big breath. Let's get this going. I just wanted to ask, like, how do you know when it's you speaking or your mental illness / negative, nasty voice speaking? Whether that's for depression, self-harm, eating disorders, any other illness, do you actually get like 2 or many voices in your head? Like, I don't technically hear 2 voices, like there's only one, and it goes on, and you can see where it's going. How do we decipher between our mental illness voice and our own voice, because it can feel like they're the same thing? And to be honest, it is our voice. It's our voice in our head. The reason that I talk about it negative or self-harm or depression voice is because that voice is usually a big shithead, and it's always negative. It's always nasty. And it's always telling you, you didn't do this right. You didn't think about this enough. You need to do it again, redo it, start over. That, you know, you're such an idiot. And it's just negative, negative, negative. And so it can help to what we as professionals call to externalize the problem. And so when I tell you, oh, it's another voice, it's because it can be easier to look at it like, oh, okay, so this is Katie number 1, and this is like Katie number 2, like nasty Katie, like bad problem. And we can call it a problem. I can be like, this is my anxiety, and it's an asshole, and it ruins everything. And so if by saying that, I can detach myself enough so that then I can battle it. Otherwise, we're battling ourselves, and then it's just more negativity. And so the way that you can decipher between the voices is to notice which one is actually helping you grow, move forward, make good choices in your life, and which one is doing the opposite, holding you back, talking negatively to you, forcing you to make bad decisions and bad choices. It could be the voice of your alcoholism. It could be the voice of, you know, your anxiety. It could be the voice of your eating disorder. It could be any kind of voice, but those are the ones that hold us back. And so I would start writing them down. Write down some of your thoughts. I have actually a worksheet on my website called, it's under the CBT worksheets. Sorry, that's hard for me to say. And it'll say thought tracking. You can click on it, and you can print it out, and you can start tracking your thoughts. And then maybe next to them put like a B for bad and a G for good, and start deciphering which voices are coming from which part of you. And then when you have a negative one, It's good to talk back to it in a positive, because the whole goal is that then we have more positives in our heads than negative and we feel better overall. Ta-da! And life is amazing and we're happy all the time. I'm just kidding, but you know what I mean. So hop on there, print it out. If you haven't subscribed, click here. And if you're new from Chris and I's Magic Monday video, welcome. I answer most of the questions in the videos in the comments below the day or two after. So if you have questions, that's when it's best to ask them. And you can follow me on Twitter and any other place that you so desire. And I'll see you on Monday. Bye.